Let's jump into our three pack. Memorable buyer experiences. So
Ooh.
just it's we live in a repeat business and a referral based business world, and there's a difference between just doing your job and making it very memorable. Because it's constantly trying to stay top of mind. And you want to make the experience, and I'm just going to give some examples for some buyers this morning. You want to make that experience as memorable as possible. So I'm just going to jump into it. So first one, just your onboarding process of really going that extra mile. Really, adding that personal touch. And so one of the things that I like to do is those legal, not legal size, the letter size leather portfolios that every time that the West USA store's doors open, I seem to replenish my supply, Nick. I appreciate
I
that.
know. That's why we don't keep it open ever anymore. I have to warn everybody to watch you.
But this is something that I always bring with me. Obviously, going to throw in a pen. It's got a pad of paper. I put all the listings that we're going to take a look at that day in it. We have a book, a home buyer's book, and so whatever you have, it's just for me. I find it's a nice touch. It gives the buyers a place to just keep all of their notes. You got that pad of paper. Take notes. We always play a game with them because we're going to go look at 5 homes. They all run together, so we're going to name each house, whether this is the blue carpet house or whatever the case is. And so they're always encouraged to bring that folder with them anytime we go out looking at homes. We have a actual physical book called Your Personal Guide to Buying a Home, but your title company should have a home buyer's guide type thing that have with you and give it to them. They'll brand it to you. I like to create it just a video introduction with a personal touch. We've talked about it for years, so I can't say that we're actually doing it, but I do want to create a home buying series because it's all about constant communication of what's up next. And I envision of just having, whether it's like a 15-part video series where each video is 30 seconds, and video one might be a video of, hey, we're getting ready to look at homes. And then number 2 might be a video, okay, we're getting ready to submit an offer. Number 3, a video on the inspection process and things like that. But have some materials, have some things that just bring a personal touch to it.
Yeah. Excuse me. The reason why most products that are expensive products have brochures is because the marketing industry has identified that consumers relate best to the give and the receive philosophy in a sales environment. So, for instance, you walk into a car dealership, you're going to walk out with today probably a $25 or $30 brochure, but on the back of it, it has the dealership name. If you go to Spencer's and you're interested in buying Wolf products or Thermadors or whatever the product du jour is of the day, and you receive a brochure, you're going to get all of the things about the product itself, but you're also on the back of it is also going to be Spencer's and probably stapled to it, that salesperson's business card. So the concept they've shown, and I don't honestly remember the statistic, but it was over 50% of the people that receive brochures return to the company in which gave them the brochure in the end. So, they may gather all this information from 5 or 6 different businesses or 30 or 40 minutes online, but they're going to work with a company that provides them that hand-given thing.
Well, the thing, Nick, I like about the leather pad folios or synthetic leather pad folios, and you can get them at Walgreens, you can get them at Walmart, you can get them at Target. To Todd's point, when we go into open houses, we get all of these brochures, we get all of these flyers, and typically at the end of the day, most of them get thrown in the trash can because they come home and they got all this crap. People aren't throwing away a leather pad folio, something that they might repurpose it, but they're not throwing it away.
Yeah, for sure. And if it's got your info in it, then it's there forever. And Todd's 100% right. We see, I mean, you get something, so you feel obligated to then give back. In this situation, I think the personal touch is really what sets apart the different agents from being agents to being real estate agents that are taking this professional and seriously, and they're business entrepreneurs. I mean, we can use many examples, but let's just say you get into an Uber car, and the Ubers are going to cost $30 no matter who's driving that Uber. But car A has mints, has water bottles that are cooled in the back, has chargers sitting there for you to charge your phone, has nice music playing. It's a better experience, and you're probably going to remember that person, but you're also probably going to tip that person a little bit heavier. You pick Uber B, same exact price, going the same distance, and you get in the car, the windows are down, it smells bad. It's a different experience, and you want to make sure that you're putting yourself in that situation for your clients. When they're working with you, they want to know that you're going to do the highest and best for them. Everything's personalized, everything's specific to them. So when they do talk about real estate with someone, they can easily say, my agent was amazing. They did all these things for me, and they're not going to forget you quickly because of the extra time that you've taken, and it doesn't take that much extra time.
You know, I like the leather ones too, the pleather ones too. But I will say this, though, if you're using them for open houses, what a great idea also, because if you use the paper ones, you know, that we also have that are branded, and you hand you're giving out a much less expensive product, but at the same token, nobody else is giving them something to put all their, you know, open house flyers.
Well, I want to go back to Nick's point. If I climbed into an Uber and there was a wet bar back there, I'd be like, "Hey, Mr. Uber driver, let's exchange numbers because I'm going to bypass Uber from now on every time I need a ride to the airport."
You just need to select Uber Black. Babe.
Anytime we have an agent talk about a good Uber driver, they're trying to turn him into a real estate agent because that's the right mentality.
I've got about 25 Uber drivers on my phone, but
Same
that's
thing with
another topic
servers.
for another day. All right, closing event with a personal touch. After the close is where either all the money's made or all the money's left on the table. And we talk about it several times. I'm not a closing gift type guy because I'm more about experiences. So for our team, we like to do housewarming parties. So the reason we like to do housewarming parties, one, it creates a memorable experience, but it's a chance to meet their family and friends. I do all the inviting, so I am working with my home buyer to get the names and phone numbers and email addresses of their family and friends because we're gonna personally invite them to the housewarming party. We pick up the phone and call all of them prior to the party. But I remember it was it was years and years ago. I was at a Schlotsky's with my family.
Are they still open?
No,
No, he said years ago.
No, they're still open.
there's no way.
Where?
Okay, how much you want to bet? How much? No, don't look at your phone. I'll tell you 2 locations right now, $100.
Betting you. I learned a long time ago. Don't bet Mike when food's involved. Sorry, we definitely tangented.
Okay, and I just remember sitting there. I had almost like an out of body experience, just watching my family and watching my kids joke around and goof around. And I walked away and I'm like, I'm done buying them expensive crap all the time. I'm going to take whatever money that we have that we would invest in video games and cars and all this stuff, and I'm going to create personal experiences. So we just started, twice a year going on really nice vacations. And I can't tell you how many times we'll just be sitting around the house and we'll be laughing about an experience we had when we were traveling here, when we were traveling there. We're never talking about the Xboxes and stuff like that. And oftentimes now when I'm with past clients, we're talking about that housewarming party. So I just feel like personal experiences are oftentimes better than gifts. And I can't tell you how many times I've been to one of my housewarming parties and I'm talking to one of their family and friends, and they say, well, my agent never threw me a housewarming party.
Set yourself apart. That's what this is all about. George Washington Carver said it best: if you do the common things in life in an uncommon manner, you'll command the attention of the world. And it's really true. These open house parties or whatever you may elect to want to do, think about it though. You're meeting similarly caliber people. You're meeting people that typically run together, and when they run together, their finances are similar because, you can't party with somebody who doesn't have the funds to go on those elaborate vacations. So what it does is it just brings you connected to a much higher caliber of individual financially. And, we're not saying you're going to be making friends with these people permanent, but you might. But what we're saying is you have to do it in such a manner that is respectful. You're not promoting yourself all over the place. The fact that you created it, you called everybody, they're already familiar with your name. Just go have an enjoyable time and always make it about the seller.
Yeah,
new owner,
we had to stop throwing parties for Nick because the bouncy houses got too expensive, and the bouncy houses aren't even for the kids.
I do like an elaborate bouncy house. um, if you do this correctly and you're there to help promote and just celebrate these buyers and the purchase of this home, you don't have to talk about yourself at all. They are going to do it for you.
Right.
They're going to walk around and introduce you to everybody. They're going to keep praising your name, and just like you said and Todd said, I mean, set yourself apart. You've been talking about housewarming parties for years now on the podcast. I don't know if anyone else is doing them. I definitely see those agents that are leaving the gift baskets and the personalized gifts, and that's fantastic. But I think there's a lot of wins here that a lot of agents aren't picking up on.
All right, and the third thing is really just comes down to your follow up again, and this is just one example that we do, because I always like when I'm talking with agents or agents are interviewing to be part of our team. I always ask the question, what does your post closing look like, and how frequently are you in touch with your clients, and then and when are you visiting them, and what are you doing for them? And it's typically I hear a 30-day text or call, just seeing how things are going. And then at the end of the year, they will send a happy house anniversary text or whatever the case is.
Happy HUD.
Yeah, you want to be, and they will send you referrals and you will get repeat business, but you have to be in front of them. So what we do is we frequently go over the performance of the purchase, and we call it a real estate portfolio review, where we want to say, okay, on this date we sold the house, it was worth this, and this is what your cap rate was, and this is what it would look like as a rental, all of those things. And then our frequency is every 6 months. Of going over, okay, over the last 6 months, this is how your house performed and so forth. But we make them in person. We make them more frequent than most agents. Most agents might go see their clients every 12 months in this respect, but we want to do it every 6 months. And being in person and being in their house and celebrating their house. And it's a chance for me to put eyeballs on the improvements of what they've done to their house and so forth. So we make them frequent. And this is, I don't ask people, hey, do you know any family or friends looking to buy or sell? That's just kind of not my style of asking for referrals. But man, I love, this is the time that I'm actually pretty direct and say, okay, hey, listen, you've seen how we've helped make you money over the last 6 months. Who do you know in your sphere that could benefit from learning how to make more money in real estate?
This is such a good thing, because it's true. No matter what you do after the close, if you're not physically meeting them face to face on some type of a repetitious basis, let's just face it, drips don't really sell. Drips just keep your name top of mind. That's all. But it also doesn't justify. Here's the thing I like. Everybody think about where you live right now, and think about when you first moved into that property. Think about that emotional experience you had back then. Now, some people have to move and it's not a happy thing, but just for homes, think about it. And think about what it feels like today. Have you become so complacent with the property? Have you failed to look out the back and see that beautiful, orange mountain or palm trees that you saw the first day you saw that home? We have a hard time reconnecting to the original emotional feelings of what it was that we had at the time we did something or something else. Think about a marriage, for that instance. Think about the day you got engaged. Think about the day you got married. And so if you can't remember and bring forward each of those experiences, they become dull. They become less brilliant. They become boring. And then those relationships and those properties and everything become boring. And sometimes that's good, because you want people to get a little bit bored because you want them to buy the next house from you. But the other piece of this is that people will refer friends. So you don't have to wait for these people to buy again. And that's what drips kind of do. So in essence, you want to make sure that you are in communication with these people, because you're asking them to remember that emotional experience that you helped them with, that portfolio and how it's doing. But more importantly, the feelings that they had when they bought the home, how happy they were. Show them a photo, remind them of how happy they were. And ultimately, you'll get some business from it.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that that drip campaigns and stuff like that aren't important. I think they're just ancillary to everything else. If all you're doing is relying on drips, I don't think you're going to get anywhere. Drips are important. It just backs up when now you're backs up all your efforts now when you're sitting in front of them.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have the time to be in front of this individual as consistently as you want to. That's where the drips come in. But no one is sitting in front of their clients as much as they should be. And it doesn't come to light as much as it does in a market like this. The amount of phone calls that we get about how our agent's production is down, the first question is, how many times are you meeting with those that have transacted with you? I'm not going to say past client because I don't like that term. And it just doesn't happen. And I think this... The number 3 there, and Todd, you're right. The emotional response to buying a home is visceral. It's something that you can take with you, but you lose it over time. Having someone reminding you how much money you have now earned on that home and how much more they can help you, that brings that back pretty quickly. But one thing I just want to touch on really fast. So the point of this was memorable buyer experiences, and you kind of started or ended the last segment with it. When working with a buyer on a new build, Justin has nothing to do with that transaction. He's not going to win any money there, but he is still offering to help you, and you have the wherewithal and the forethought to go, I got to make sure that my buyer is being taken care of by this other individual who's working on the loan. I'm going to reach out to someone I know and I trust and it's going to give me good information. That right there is a memorable buyer experience. You saving that buyer money, helping them get a lower rate, whatever the cause is, they're going to remember that forever. If you, in your business, don't have someone that you can lean on in every capacity, in lending and title, etc., you need to look at your, as we call them, cabinet that's working with you, because that should be a number one go-to whenever you're walking through a process. If the person doesn't making money, they're not going to call you back. You need a new person.
And the thing about Justin I like is the fact that if they decide to refinance or if the rates change or anything like that, they now have another lender that is not the builder's lender that they can contact for investment properties or anything else they want to buy. And sometimes it can start there.
All right, so I'm going to open something up. So I'm going to give everybody my West USA email. So write this down. Just email me at mikew@westusa.com, because this Wednesday I'm actually going to go through point number 3 in detail as a reminder for my team. And we're going to really kind of go into the nuts and the bolts of what do our real estate portfolio reviews look like? What are all of the items that we bring with it? But then how to take this concept and go through your database of everybody that owns a home and how you can do this, because it doesn't necessarily have to be past clients. And how, I mean, when I'm out with meeting people and if they own a home, we're going to offer a real estate portfolio review. And so we're going to go in detail. So if you're interested, it's going to be this Wednesday from 10 to 12. My email is mikew@westusa.com. All right.
Do you got a video it by chance?
No.
Can we?
No. We don't have that kind of technology. Well, actually,
I have
we do.
to teach a class.
Oh, well.
I want to be there.
Let's go to Anthony. We'll figure it out.
No, we'll do an expensive lunch. Okay. And it won't be Schlotsky's.
All right.
Durant's.
They're closed right now.
Yeah.
Under new management.
Yeah, till December.
I didn't know you were the
Don't go back.
go-to on all restaurants, Mike. That's
Buddy.
good.
Oh my gosh.
That's
Have we met?
yeah.